hot minute since I've been over on this channel, and for that I deeply apologize. This was largely a hair / beauty channel when I started it, and I've gotten a lot more subscribers as of late. It seems like every couple of months or so I'm getting another subscriber or two, and I appreciate that. Welcome, you guys. I'm hoping to post more on this channel. I know initially I was doing a lot of stuff with wigs, and there's a kind of a long story behind that, sort of, and I think I've touched on that on some of my older videos. As y'all may or may not know, my dread journey started with a bob. I had an asymmetrical bob that was about this long in the front and about an inch long in the back. So I had like little to no hair. It was like, ooh, it was small. It was a horrible haircut. I mean, it didn't look bad, the cut itself, but I was like 30 pounds heavier than I am now. And so my face was more round, and so the short do made my face look more round, and I was locked into one hairstyle. It required much maintenance and hairspray every single day to get it to cooperate, so I hated it. And it was the worst thing I ever did to my hair. So as soon as that bob grew out and got long enough to where I could give myself dreads, I did it. And you have to have a minimum of 4-inch long hair before you can give yourself dreads. You just have to. So once the shorter pieces in the back got 4 inches long, I went to town and I gave myself dreads, and then they were so short they were just sticking up all over. I have footage of that in one of my previous videos, and so I wore wigs on top of them so they could mature for a little while until they kind of got long enough or strong enough for what I thought to where I could put extensions in so I could have long hair again, because I missed my long hair. Well, I did it, and it worked great. The extensions were fantastic. I had to touch them up periodically because every now and then one would come loose and start to, you know, work its way out over the course of several months. But that was no big deal. I learned how to do it. I taught myself how to do it. Taught myself how to not only give myself dreads, I did the sectioning by myself, I did the dreads by myself, I made my extensions from hair that I bought from the wig store. It was human hair. So I created my own extensions and installed my own extensions. The process of doing all of this, the extensions, I know for a fact, would have cost me about $400 to $500 just for human hair extensions that have been made into dreadlocks. Because one dreadlock is $8 to $10, if not more, depending on the length you want. So I've seen them sell for upwards of $15 for one dreadlock extension made from human hair. And I was like, no. So I made my own, saved bukus of money. I literally only spent like $30 for my hair, the extensions, and my time. And I ended up with 46 dreadlocks. Yes. I had 46 dreadlocks, and they were dark brown, and because I wanted to not dye my hair anymore, I wanted my hair to just grow out, but they were a number 2 in the color, in the darkness, which was really too dark for me, because my natural hair is more like a level 4, so maybe even lighter, but 2 was literally the lightest I could find at my wig store. So yeah, my hair was almost black, so it was crazy. It was really dark for me, but it didn't look bad though. So I wore that until I thought, you know, I'm tired of these dark dreads. So I went blonde, and you probably saw me. I think I shared a video before this one or two videos back, where I have the blonde dreads. I'll post a picture of those right up here. It looked really good. I really enjoyed the blonde hair, and in fact I didn't think I would ever change it. I did have to bleach my roots. I just had to maintain my roots. What I did when I went blonde was I took out all of the dark extensions. I cut them out and brushed them out, and then I bleached my hair, my dreads that were left, and they were short. Like my longest dreadlock was only like that, like 6 or 7 inches long. And so I bleached out my dreadlocks, and then I took the blonde extensions and put them in, and it was really convincing. Nobody knew that I had extensions unless, you know, I told them. It looked really good. So but I really thought that I would do that, keep the blonde hair and just upkeep with my roots. I did it for a year. I thought I would do it forever, and then literally one day I woke up and said, I miss my red hair. I was this color red. Actually, I was more burgundy. This has more orange in it than before, which I like the orange. I want it to be even more orange, honestly. But so my extensions did not take the dye at all, as you can imagine, because store-bought hair is usually sealed with something to maintain the color. So I'll put a picture right here of what the dreads looked like. See how the dreads did not take that at all? It was weird. Like, some of the hairs, for some reason, took the color. I don't know if that was maybe some of my natural hairs that ended up stuck in with those extensions or what, but but there was a lot of white modeled in with it just did not look natural. It didn't look like an ombre look. It didn't look normal. It was not acceptable. I was like, nope. So my first thought was, okay, I'm going to have to take these out. I'm going to have to go buy me some red hair and make me some more extensions and see what I can do with that. Well, my wig store anyways does not have very much selection when it comes to red hair. So I thought, well, I'm never going to be able to match this color. So after I pulled out all the extensions, I'm going to show you guys. This is after 2 years. It's right at about 2 years since I started my dreadlocks. And this is the length I now have. So this is all my natural hair. And when I started my dreads, my bangs were this long when I started my dreads. So, and dreads shrink. I don't know if y'all know this. When you start dreadlocks, they will shrink as they lock. The ones in the back were only 4 inches long, and now they're down to here, you know. Actually, the ones in the back shrunk up to like this. They're like the size of a Vienna sausage or a little smoky. They shrunk up really small when they were maturing. And now there's my thickest, baddest dreads, and I love them. What's awesome about my hair being this length is I can still tie them back. I use my 2 dreads in the bottom. Oh, where are they at? Here we go. You saw, and I just tie them back. So I can do this, and I really only do this when I'm going to do something that I don't want my hair in my face, like when I'm putting on my makeup or washing my face. So, yeah. But I am pleased with this. It's not as long as I want. Obviously, I wouldn't have worn extensions, but I can live with this. I think it's pretty. I think it looks great. So this is my dreadlocks after 2 years and after wearing extensions for 2 years. This is what my dreads look like now. I'm going to turn around and show you guys the back. Let me make sure I get all my bangs up out of the front. Yes, but my dreadlocks, these are what I did myself. Because of my sectioning, the way I did it with no help, no guidance, some of the dreads are really thin. Let's see if I can find a thin one. I know I've got one that's like uber thin. Most of them are about the same. Most of them are about like this. You can see where I started running out of dye whenever I was doing my hair. But, yeah, see, they're fairly thin. And then I have some that are thick, like really thick. Like, look how thick this one is at the end. It feels thicker. This one's thicker. This is a nice thick one. And they're locked really well. They are locked very, very well. And so I'm just planning to leave them like this. But I want to show you guys the back. So you can see how long they are. They come down just past my shoulders. And I haven't even seen what they look like in the back. So it'll be interesting for me to get to see this. I wanted to make this video today because I have one of my dear sweet friends, her daughter, who is gonna be 18, I think this year. Anyway, she's 17 right now, and she's gonna be graduating in December. Congratulations, heaven. But I'm so excited for her. She wants me to install dreadlocks, and I am more than willing and happy to do it. She is a beautiful girl, and dreadlocks are just gonna enhance her beauty, in my opinion. I think she's gonna look fly. So, this video is dedicated to heaven because I just wanted to give you guys some pros and cons of dreadlocks and things you should consider before you get dreadlocks. Okay, now that we're 10 minutes into this video, let's get started. Okay, so here's some things to consider. I have a list so I can stay on track. My ADD mind can focus better with a list. But anyways, okay, the first thing I want you to know about dreads is they are a very committal hairstyle. You have to be committed. You cannot get your dreads and then 1 week later decide, I don't want to do this, and brush them out. They can be brushed out. You do not have to shave your head. I know some people do because they don't want to take the time to brush them out, because it takes as long to brush them out as it does to put them in. So they can be brushed out, but it's very damaging to your hair. Because if you think about it, dreads are knots. It's nothing but knots. Your hair has knotted and knotted and knotted, and so you have ropes of hair. And to brush those out can be done, but it is tedious, time-consuming, and damaging to your hair. So your hair will look pretty fried when you're done. But your hair can recover, and it can bounce back, so don't feel like, oh no, I'm going to have to shave my head if I don't want my dreads. You don't have to. You can recover your long hair. I mean, you will lose length. That's another thing, you'll lose length, because a lot of your dreads will be loose hair. Like hair, everybody sheds hair every day, continuously throughout the day. But instead of finding hair in your hairbrush or on the floor, it stays in the dreads. That's why they get thicker and longer and more beautiful and just fuller, because they're collecting and keeping all the loose hair that falls out, which is part of why I love dreads. I think it's awesome. But anyways, that's the first thing to consider. Number 2, the process of getting dreads installed is very lengthy. If you're going to go get dreads, you need to plan on it taking all day long. Also, it is expensive if you're going to have someone do it professionally. I have not priced, because I'm sure all over the country it's probably different according to where you live and what type of salon are you going to. Are you going to an ethnic salon that deals specifically with African hair, or are you going to a different type of salon that handles all kinds of hair? Do they even have anyone there who can do dreadlocks? If they do, I don't know if they charge by the hour or by the length of your hair or by how many dreads they have to do, but it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. You're not talking about $150 dread do. It's going to be $200, $300, $400, $500, if not more. So that's something to consider. Unless you know somebody who is happy to help you with them. There are a plethora of YouTube videos that help you, that can teach you how to install your own dreads. People do it all the time. I did it. I literally watched probably 20 hours at least of dreadlock videos, how-tos and upkeeps and what to expect and maintenance and all that stuff before I decided to take the plunge. And let me tell you, I've wanted dreadlocks since my 20s. I'm 40 now, but I wish I had done it sooner. This is the best thing I've ever done to my hair, and I absolutely love dreadlocks. So they are worth it, very much so. Also, according to the sensitivity of your scalp, now I did not have this problem, but I have seen other people that have. If you have a tender scalp, because of all the tugging and whatever method you have done to have your dreads put in, you may be left with a very, very tender scalp. You may be sore for days afterwards, a day or two. It may be hard to sleep on your head because it's gonna hurt. But I didn't have that problem. My scalp did not hurt whatsoever at all when I had my dreads put in, when I did my dreads. It didn't hurt at all. So it just depends on how sensitive your scalp is, really. Dread journey. Number 3. You are going to go on a dread journey. New dreads will not look pretty and tight and slick and smooth and sleek and like mature dreads will. These are considered mature dreads. These dreads are 2 years. Actually, the ones in the front are only 1 year old. Because I started out with 48 dreadlocks, and then I went and put in 8 more in the front. So these are only about a year old. So now I have 54 dreadlocks. No, sorry, 46 dreadlocks. Now I have 54. I lose count. I just know it's not 56 because 56 is one of my lucky numbers. So I'm shy of 56 by 2. So sorry, I digress like severely. I'm telling you, my ADD mind has such a hard time staying on track. But yeah, they will go through various stages as they lock and mature. Your dreads will look weird and wild and unruly at some point, unless, now some people will take a tiny crochet hook. I'm going to put a picture of one up here because I don't want to get up and go get mine. So, you'll take that. That's what I used actually when I did my dreads. Was I did the back comb method, which left them looking really wild. So I took that little crochet hook and went in there and I tidied up all the loose hairs that were coming out, and I was left with dreads that looked pretty much like this, but with some like little loose flyaway hairs here and there, just a few. So you'll have those little flyaways. Your dreads will try to stick together. When you wash your hair, you'll have to pull the dreads apart because they will try to grow together, and that's something that I did not want. Some people are fine with that. I don't want to do that because your dreads can, they call it Congo. Your dreads can Congo together and you will end up with fat dreads. I've known people who've had 5, 6 dreads just wad up together and then they end up with one great big fat heavy dreadlock, and that just, I can't even imagine that mess. I've even seen people that like are in Jamaica or whatever who just completely, you know, they're Rastafari, and they let their hairs just do whatever, and they'll have like one great big dreadlock, and I'm like, good on you if that's what you want to do, but that's not me. So, you know, to each their own. But, yeah, they're gonna, let's see, where am I at? Oh, also, this is a big thing that a lot of people don't think about or realize, is you're gonna lose some length. When you have your dreads put in, like if your hair is this long and you're having the back comb method, to me the back comb method is best if you have fine hair. My hair is very fine. It's like, I have a lot of hair, but it's like baby hair. It's silky, and I didn't even know if I could ever get dreads because I didn't realize just how much hair I had. In fact, it was so, the hairs were so thin and fine, but yeah, that's, I don't know what type you would call that, but that's what my hair type is. And so I could not do twist and rip. I had to do, I mean, I tried, because you can save some length if you do twist and rip, but I had to do back comb. And so what you're doing is basically all your hair's getting back combed, and so it gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, so you might lose 2 inches in the process. Well, not only that, but as your locks mature and tighten, they're going to shorten even more on their own. So if your hair is as long as mine, you may end up with dreads that are only this long, you know, after the first 4 months, 3, 4, 5 months. Your dreads will shrink. Everybody's dreads shrink. They can shrink anywhere from 2 inches to, I would say, 4 to 6 inches on average. But I saw, the most drastic shrinkage I saw was a lady who had hair down to her waist. I mean, it was literally almost to her butt, and beautiful. And she had dreads put in, and she lost a foot of length after. I mean, you could see, I wish I had done this, but since I did extensions, I couldn't do it. But she took pictures of her dreads all against her back, and you could see over the first like 3 or 4 months, they went up her back, and she literally lost, you know, like 12 inches off of her length. Her length ended up being not much longer than mine from hair that was down to her butt, but her hair is different. Everybody's hair is different. It's going to be, how much length you lose is going to be based on your texture, your hair's texture, whoever installed it, how quickly they mature. But the good news is once they do mature and stuff, it seems like they grow fast. My hair, I don't know if it's because I color it, but my hair seems to grow ½ an inch a month. So I'm getting an inch of growth every 2 months. Because that's about how often I would go in and do my roots, is about every 2 months. But yeah, another thing about dreads is it seems like when you first get them, they're itchy. You'll be like this, and it's because the hairs are locking and moving, and just, it's new, it's different, it's something you're not used to. So your scalp will itch until, because you're also using different hair products, so your scalp is having to get used to this major adjustment. But now I have found that mine don't itch anymore. They stopped itching, I really can't tell you when they stopped itching, probably within that first year. I just one day went, oh, they're not really itching like they used to. So yeah, but your dreads are going to go on their very own journey, and that's part of the fun. So don't be discouraged when your dreads shrink, because they're still, you know, it's worth it. It is worth it. Like I said, my dreads shrunk to like nothing. They were tiny. But you can look back at some of my previous videos, because I put them in here so you could see some of it a little bit. So where am I at? Okay, there's the length. How much expected to lose? Number 4, you will need different shampoo now, different products. Get ready for a whole different world of upkeep. You will need shampoo that is specifically designated safe for dreadlocks. You can Google, I know there's a website somewhere, I can't remember what it is, but you can definitely Google shampoo brands that are dreadlock safe. When I first got started, I used Neutrogena residue-free shampoo. It was kind of pricey. I mean, it's not initially, but I went through it kind of quick. at first. So I was like, well, this is a little too expensive for me to be buying this and using it. And plus it smelled really, I didn't care for the smell. But yeah. But you can use, let's see where I'm at. You want something that is all natural, has all natural ingredients, no oils. I mean, unless they're saponified, because you have to have oil saponified. That's how you get soap. But oil will actually prevent them from dreading. So you don't want, they'll keep them from locking. So you don't want anything with oil in it. I personally use Alafia African black soap. I'll put a picture of that right up here. And I ordered this, the one I have, off of Amazon, just because I have Amazon Prime, and it was a little bit cheaper than buying it from the store. But if you can buy the big bottle, it's like anywhere from, you know, $14, $15 to $20, depending on where you live. But it will last you a long time. The big bottle of that African black soap lasts me, oh my gosh, probably 6 months. So, I mean, it's a worthy investment. You can also find bar soaps. I have heard people say that it's better to use bar soaps. I don't know because I haven't tried any. But it's easy to overdo it with the liquid soaps. I just prefer the convenience of having the soap already liquid. You know, I get eczema on my hands really bad at different times of the year. So for me to have to go like this with soap is just driving that into my hands, and it's going to either give me an eczema flare-up or it's going to irritate it. So I like having the soap already in liquid form, and I dilute it. You don't need to use as much shampoo. You would think that, oh, I have a bunch of hair now, I've got dreads, I'm going to need to use a buttload of shampoo. No, you don't want like an overabundance of foam. So just do your research. Pick a shampoo that works good for you. Just make sure it is residue free and approved for dreadlocks. There are specific brands that you can go buy off of the internet. I've heard Naughty Dreads, that's K-N-O-T-T-Y, Naughty Dreads is a good one. I wouldn't know, I haven't tried it. Dolly Locks, I've heard people rave about Dolly Locks, and I am dying to try some of their products because the company is nothing but dreadlock accessories. The company was created and started by a woman, and is created and started by the same thing, right? It's ran by women. She invented the products. She sells the products. They're expensive, but they sound amazing, and I've heard nothing but good things. So I'm dying to try some of her stuff. Let's see where I'm at. You will save money on product in the long run. This is number 5, because you won't need a hairspray for one. You won't need a flat iron. You won't need a curling iron. You won't need conditioner. Yeah, you heard me right. You don't condition dreadlocks. Now, the only time you'll need a conditioner is if you have loose hair like I do. I like to have some versatility in my styling with my bangs. I mean, I have a little part going on right here, and I've got them tucked behind my ears. Sometimes I will leave a little part right here, and I'll take this, and I'll just put it back like this, and I'll take a little hair clippy, and just give it a little poof, and I'll wear my hair like that, and that looks really cute with a ponytail too. See, go like this, and it's cute with a ponytail, or I'll just leave them out and brush it all back like this. So, you know, that's why I like having some loose hair, some bangs, because it gives me a little bit more versatility in my styling. But I'm getting off topic. I'm supposed to be talking about conditioner. So I do condition my bangs, but I do not condition my dreads, because conditioner lubricates the hair and will prevent it from locking. You don't want that to happen. Also, a misconception people have about dreadlocks is that you don't wash them, but you do. When you have new dreadlocks, I highly, highly advise you to wash them frequently. By frequently, I mean no more than 3 times a week, but at least twice a week. Because the more that you wash them, the more you're stripping away the natural oils, and so the hair's not going to be as lubricated, and you're moving it around, and it will lock faster. Your dreads will mature faster if you can wash them 3 to 4 times a week. Do not wash your dreads every single day. People who wash their hair every single day have a problem. I'm sorry to be blunt, but you're creating a problem when you wash your hair every day. What you're doing is you're causing your scalp to go into overdrive and create more sebaceous oils, because you're washing those away and stripping them away every single day. So if you're going to get dreads, you need to start weaning off of washing your hair every day if you wash your hair every day. Go to every other day. for like a month, and then go to every 2 days for like another couple weeks, and then your hair should be getting ready to dread, because you're going to be washing your hair about every 3 days at first. So the good news is you don't have to, you'll wean down even from that. You should, and I mean, if you want to keep washing your dreads 2 and 3 times a week, you can, but keep in mind that your dreads are going to be thicker now. It's knotted hair that's in ropes, and it is going to take longer to dry. When I had my extensions in, now that they're shorter, I don't know, because I literally just took the extensions out like 4 days ago, so I haven't washed my hair. So I'm hoping, I don't think they'll take as long since they're shorter, but when I had my extensions, it would take my hair all day to dry. I would wash my hair about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 6 o'clock in the evening, my dreads are still damp. So if they're constantly, continuously damp, like if you're not going to want to wash your hair every day, but if you're washing your hair even every other day, your dreads are going to be wet 50% of the time, and you can develop mold in your dreadlocks. I have never done this, never happened to me, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. It has and does happen. So, but don't let that scare you off, because it's extremely rare. Most people have good hygiene, so, you know, you don't have to worry about it. Just, you can expedite the drying process if you're going to be outside in the sun or the wind. Like, a lot of times, like, I wash my dreads on Fridays, so I'll go do grocery shopping on Fridays also, because it's payday. So a lot of times I'm going to go out in the sun and have my windows down or cracked or whatever, and the wind will be blowing through my hair, and my hair will dry a lot faster on those days. I've also noticed, now this is kind of weird, and I don't know if it was my extensions that did this or if it's just dreadlocks in general, but I think it's dreadlocks in general. But have you ever, this is going to sound gross, but this is just an odd thing to expect. Have you ever noticed, like, if you have a pet, a dog or something, and you let your dog outside, and your dog comes in, and they stink. They have this weird smell about them just from being outside. And even if your dog doesn't roll around in the dirt or anything, you can literally just put your dog on the leash, walk outside, they go toot-toot-toot and go potty, and then they come back in, and then your dog gets in your lap, and you're like, they just have this funk about them. I call that outside smell. And all that is the dog's hair collecting, you know, pollution, smoke, just stuff that's in the air, and it gets in their hair. But that smell dissipates quickly, you know. You'll know your dog, you know, the smell from the pet goes away after a while. 'Cause if they smelled that way all the time, no one would have pets. But I've noticed that my dreadlocks will do that sometimes when I go outside. And I'm outside having fun, and I come in, and I can be like, every now and then, you know, one will go by, and I'm like, ooh, and it's just, it's the outside smell, but like an animal, like a dog, the smell dissipates quickly. But if you can't stand that smell even on you for a second, which I've never noticed it hanging around for more than 5 or 10 minutes, but you can make a, I have a little glass bottle as a spray bottle. It's just little, it's like that big around, and I fill it almost all the way with water, filtered water or distilled water, your choice. And you can put 6 to 10 drops of your favorite essential oils in there and just mist it through your hair, and it'll get rid of the smell like that. And plus your dreads will smell beautiful and flowery, or whatever, you know, scent you wanted to put in there. Now, I don't recommend overdoing that if you have new dreads, because oils, like in the essential oils, are going to keep your dreads from locking. So you're not going to want to go crazy with that until your dreads are mature. But that's just an option if you notice your dreads having a smell. Not everyone would notice this, I guess. And I don't even notice it on myself except once in a while. Like, I guess, my guess would be it's the pollution that's in the air. Just, it gets in your hair and you can smell it. But that doesn't mean, oh, I need to run to the shower and go wash my hair now. I'm not doing that, because my dreads are going to be wet for hours. But the smell goes away really quick. But that's just a really weird thing that nobody ever told me. No one talks about that on YouTube. I've literally, of all the hundreds of videos I've watched, I've never seen anyone talk about getting outside smell in their dreads. So, even people who have extensions, I've never heard them talk about that. But that's just something weird that I wanted to mention. Let me see. Oh, also you need to be careful when you shampoo. It does not take very much product. It takes, for me, well, when my hair was longer, I would use about a tablespoon. I'll probably still use about a tablespoon, and get that in your roots and let it foam all up, and then kind of rinse some of the water down and get the suds into your hair. Use, you know, just a little bit to get down in there. But yeah, you don't want to overdo it because it will build up. And over the last couple times I've washed my hair, I've used too much soap. And when I've rinsed and rinsed and rinsed and rinsed like 3 times, and then I'm getting ready to dry my hair and I can hear the soap still crunching in my hair, and I'm like, I've been rinsing my hair for 30 minutes. Not really. But yeah, it can be easy to overdo with liquid soap, which is probably why people say that bar soaps are easier. I really need to try one. I need to try a bar soap and just see if I can handle it. But especially if you have soft water, it can be hard to rinse all of the soap out of your hair. But if you are afraid of having residue, which I don't have, I have not noticed a problem. Even when I cut my extensions out, they look fine. There's not gross things in my hair. It just looks like hair. But if you're afraid of getting residue or something, you can do a deep clean, a dreadlock soak, where you can mix up stuff like apple cider vinegar and baking soda and essential oils, and you soak, you lay down in a dishpan, and you put your dreads in there, and you lay there for like 30 minutes, and then you go wash your hair. But there's different recipes for that. You can Google it. Dolly Locks used to make, I don't know if they still do, a dread balm, kind of like a bath bomb, but for your dreads. And you literally just take a dishpan and put water in it, and you throw the little bath fizz balm in there, and and you put your dreads in there. And I've heard that it's amazing. I haven't used it, obviously. I've never used any Dolly Locks products because I'm cheap. But man, I want to. Like for my birthday, I want to ask, next year, or for Christmas or something, hey, can someone get me some Dolly Locks products? I want to try Nag Champa and vanilla. So yeah. Okay, anyways, just putting that out there. And that was kind of point number 6. It was about the outside smell and your hair taking a long time to dry. The best way to dry your dreadlocks is to take them in a towel. Every woman knows how to do this, where you put the towel on like this, and then you twist the towel up, and then you put the towel back up, and and you let your dreads, put them in the towel for like an hour or so, up to an hour. I usually leave mine on a towel for about 20 minutes while I'm brushing my teeth and stuff after I've gotten out of the shower. And then you can take them out of the towel and just let them air dry. Some people do try to use a blow dryer. I have never really found a blow dryer to be very effective. Works great on my bangs, but it just doesn't really work. It might get the surface of the dreads dry, but they're still wet in the core, so what's the point? But it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, obviously, if it was, I wouldn't have dreadlocks. Another thing that people... that you should do, I highly recommend this when you get dreads, if you're considering dreads, if you do get dreads, wash your hair every 2 to 3 days, or 2 to 3 times a week. And no more than that, but you want to do at least that with new dreads, so it will help them to lock fast. But I would say after about 6 to 8 to 10 months, depending on how your dreads are maturing. If they've been shrinking, you notice the shrinkage, and then you're starting to see them grow back out, and you're starting to gain some length again, then you can start weaning off on your shampooing. Because that means they're pretty much locked. They're not fully mature yet, because it can take upwards of 1 to 2 years for dreads to fully mature, just depending on the hair, depending on how the dreads are put in, and all those same variables, yada, yada, yada. But I wash my dreads on average every 10 days. Every 7 to 10 days is best for mature dreads. And because we really don't, my hair does not get oily, it does not get greasy, it feels great. One of the problems with washing your hair too much, like I mentioned earlier, is it causes your scalp to produce way too much sebaceous oils, and it coats your dreads and will keep them from locking. But if you can wean down, like if you have your new dreads, you're washing them 3 times a week. After 6 months, go down to washing them 2 times a week. Then after another 3 months or 4 months, maybe, when you get around the year mark, go down to washing them once a week. And then if you want to, if you're feeling froggy or lazy like me, you can go down to once to every 10 days. And I came up with that from the actual creator of dreadlocks. She mentioned that on her YouTube channel when she was talking about dread maintenance. She said she recommended that people wash their dreads no more than 7 to 10 days, which is perfect for mature dreads and for my schedule and for how long I want to have wet hair. But yeah. So that's awesome because, you know, I don't have to wash my hair that much. It's great. But I still want them to be clean, so I obviously do wash them. If you decide you want to color your dreads, like I do, you're going to need a lot of product. Like, normally when my hair was this length, I probably would have bought 2 boxes of hair dye. But for hair like this, it probably would take 4 boxes just because the hair is so thick and you have to really use a lot of color to penetrate the hair. I don't do box dyes anymore. I go to Sally Beauty Supply and I pick up my color from there and I mix the color with the developer. That's just what I've done. I've really done that for years. I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a box dye. But I have a little bit more control that way. Plus you can find stuff on sale. But if you ever plan to color your dreads, it will take a lot of product and you have to be very, very diligent and careful to get it all out when you're done. But the last point I want to make is dreads are fun. They are so fun. You know how many people stop me on I mean, it's almost daily. People go, oh, I love your dreadlocks. Or, oh, can I touch your hair? And you can always say no if you don't want that. But I usually go, sure, you want to feel? And they'll go, oh, they feel so neat. I want to do dreadlocks. You know, I get that a lot. I've never had anyone say anything negative about my dreads. I've never been looked at sideways because of my dreads. And little girls just love my hair. They think it looks cool. But, especially with this red, I get called the Little Mermaid a lot now. But yeah, it's really fun to see the different styles you can come up with dreadlocks. I had a lot more styling options when they were longer, but even now that they're shorter, I can still get creative. I managed to braid them the other day. I actually had my bangs tucked away like this again, and I mean, you can wear a little headband up here. If you want to do that, you can wear a scarf. I had mine split down the middle, and I had done a twist. Let's do it on this side. I love the beads, being able to put beads, yeah. But I had done a twist where I took all of my dreads like this, and I was twisting them up. And you just have to get creative and experiment and see with what you can do, you know. But then I ended up with just this really nice little twist. And I used my mirror. This probably looks terrible, but look at the twist. And I took just a little rubber band, or not a rubber band, but a little hair tie. And I had a little hair tie right there. And I had 2 twists on either side, you know. So you can get really, really creative. You can do some really intricate and fun braids when you have dreadlocks. You can do really neat dread buns. Some of the most awesome hairstyles I've ever come up with were just from tying my hair in random knots. I would literally take a bunch of dreads. Now this one I'm only going to do. One of my very favorite styles just before I took out the extensions was to take about 4 extensions, 4 dreads in each hand. Try not to get my bangs. That's not bangs. And then I would tie them in a knot like this. Literally, just like you tie your shoe. I'd go like that. And then I would have this little bump on my head. And then the dreads would hang down about here. Because they were long. But it just gave some... They didn't look wonky like this. That looks really weird. Woo! I wouldn't do that normally. But yeah, with the long dreads, it looked better. Because it really gave me some variance in layers. And it just gave it a lot of body and looked really cool. And I just literally come up with that one day going, what would happen if I did this? Foop. Hey, that looks awesome. And I wore my hair that way like almost every day. But yeah, so dreadlocks are totally fun. Like I said, it was the best thing I did to my hair. I wish I had done it sooner. The only reason I didn't was because I used to say, oh man, my hair is so thin, I'll only get like 4 dreadlocks. I was wrong. As you can see, I got 54 dreadlocks, and I really could have more if I wanted to dread up all of these. I could probably get easily another 6 to 8 dreads out of these. But I'm not going to because I love the versatility, that's what I'm trying to say, in getting to have bangs. So Yes. Anyways, I hope that you found this video informative. Do your research if you are wanting to get dreads. They are fun. They are worth it. They can require some patience. The less you worry about them, the better you will be after you have them. Just try not to worry about them. Just separate them. Palm rolling does nothing. Some people swear by it. Some people don't. Some people say it does. I didn't notice it doing anything for me. Palm rolling did nothing. Some of your dreads might be a little flat. Oh, I have some back here that are flat because I sleep on them. Some dreads will be perfectly round, but there's just all kinds of things that are different about dreads. There's another worthy channel to go and explore is Lazy Dreads. That's all one word. Go look for him. And he has a really good and informative channel, and he tests out a lot of dreadlock products and tells you about them. He's had dreads since he was like 14 or 16 or something like that, so he's had dreads for a really long time, and he has some really interesting videos, so go check him out. If you want good tips on how to install dreads, how to section your hair, look for Astrid. I think that's what her channel is called. I will look for her. I will post all of these links in the description box. If you've been wondering where I've been at, I've been mostly on my other channel. I post videos there almost every day. It is my weight loss journey. I don't know if you guys can tell in my face how much weight I've lost like 30 pounds. I still have 68 more pounds to go. So, to reach my ultimate goal weight, but I may need to lose more. I may need to lose a little less, but well, I don't know. We'll see. But if you want to catch up with me on there, go check out that channel. It is Diminishing Erica, and I will put a link to that down in the description box as well. So now I need to remember to link Lazy Dreads, Astrid, and Diminishing Erica. Okay, all right, you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate it. I hope you found this interesting and helpful. I'm sorry I was kind of all over the place, but I hope you learned something from this, because these are just some things I've learned and wanted to share and pass on, especially for you, Miss Heaven. So, thank you guys again, and keep watching. Stay tuned. Find me on my other channel, and stay magical. Peace.